additional fights do you have Zhang for?
We got a lot. We got quite a few fights with him.
So what would be the plan? Obviously, Joe gets back in that interim position, hopes to challenge the Dubois-Usyk winner. I think Hrgovic would be in line as well. Would the same plan be mimicked for Zhang?
Whoever wins the fight, that's going to be it, isn't it? They'll be the mandatory. So that's where it's at. I mean, obviously Joe's been with me for a while, and I've not even met Zhang, to be quite honest. Because as I said, I didn't attend the fight. But the old Double Z, he's a good fighter. He's a good fighter, and I watched him, and I was very impressed with him when he fought Hrgovic.
So is Joe now in the Daniel Dubois position, in a sense, when they fought, in that you've got options on both, but he's the guy you've come to the dance with?
Joe signed with us, and we made the fight happen. He was with us already by then. It weren't about taking options. He signed with us as his promoter. If you remember, we actually bought his contract and done a deal with from Ringstar. We bought his contract.
And you mentioned up there that you were thinking about Zhang fighting Tyson Fury before the rematch clause was activated by Joe's team. How close was that fight to, being signed?
I think we were very close to getting it done. But as I say, Joe called for the rematch, and that's his prerogative. And that's where we're at.
Do you get frustrated in those things? Because we've always talked about the positives of having so many top heavyweights in your stable and the positions you've put them in. But then when you've got a fight lined up for Fury and Joe kind of scuppers that fight for no kind of ill intent, but does it frustrate you?
Look, things happen, and they happen for a reason. And at the end of the day, all I look at is the fights we do get on. We do get on. We've had Daniel win with Joe. We made that happen. Tyson's fought guys who we've had on our books. With Derek Chisora, we did that twice with him, twice when he was on our books. There's never been a problem with me making fights because if they make sense and the guys can earn money. It's not the end of the world for the loser, as we've seen. It's not the end of the world, and we work hard to give everybody a fair opportunity. Now and then it is that things do become difficult. What pisses me off is when you get that narrative out there that Tyson's ducking people when he's offering 60-40 fights twice with AJ, who they didn't want to take it, and they said he was fighting in the summer. Well, here's the fight to make. They didn't want it. And you got Usyk, which he spun that thing out for a long time now, saying that he was willing to come here, but greedy belly. There were some points. There were some small points. That's why we played. Well, they were small points. Why did you pull out the fight? Pulled out the fight. Both of them don't want the fight because it's really simplistic, because they've been offered a lot of money by a skill set challenge to go and fight in December for huge purses. And I get that. And the boxers are no different than the other sports stars, the golfers, the footballers. Get it, understand it. But that's the real reason. That's the reason. Where Tyson's a bit of which people not picking up on. He was willing to do those fights here, which means he got less money than wait until December. And they won't happen in December now anyway. They're going to be pushed back to the first quarter of 2024, according to the interview I see with Amir.
And we spoke to Spencer Oliver, former European champion, Sky pundit, yesterday, and he said there's a very real danger that the public are beginning to turn against Tyson Fury because of what you said are incorrect assumptions that he's the one getting in the way of and making his inactivity a problem. What do you think about that?
He's the hottest heavyweight out there. What did we have to bid for his last fight? For his mandatory, we bid 42 million. Yeah. They bid 8 million for that the Usyk fight. 100 was it? Just under 100,000 tickets. Biggest ever event to take place at Wembley. Any event. Chisora, 60,000 tickets sold there. Prior to that, he fought in America, highest grossing heavyweight box office ever in Vegas. Don't think to me people are getting tired of him. And I'll tell you, as soon as he's out, as soon as he's fighting, you will not be able to get a ticket because he's the man. He's the man. And he got some haters out there. He got supporters of Joshua. You got other people who listen to a narrative. But how often do you and I do an interview? Is it once every 2-3 weeks, 4 weeks sometimes? You've got the other side of pumping stuff out continuously. Sometimes they're doing 3-4 interviews a day. And in the end, what is the message? They just get stuff out and no one challenges it. No one challenges any of the stuff they've just say what they like. It's just fake news, fake news, fake news. Tom Pepper putting out fake news all the time.
Well, I agree we should talk more often, if that's what you're trying to say. But when you talk about the other side putting stuff out, what's kind of the biggest misconception or the biggest bit of misinformation you think has been said?
The reason the Fury fight didn't happen, Fury and Joshua didn't happen, is because of Tyson. Tyson said he got 64. You're not even in the number one spot. You're not a mandatory. You're not. You get 64, and it's put out that it's Tyson. We're not doing that. That's what they're saying. He's got other plans. We got other fights. We got a fight signed and we're going to announce it. Well, they never had anything signed. So is that not a porcupine? They never had nothing signed. They still got nothing signed. They may get something signed today. I don't know. But at the time it was all being said, they had a Beagle, nothing, big zero.
Just on the flip side, Fury, we know it can't be Usyk. As you said, it was dragged out, but we know that's not happening now. And same with Joshua. We're now in, July, almost the start of July on Saturday. Why has Fury not had a fight announced yet?
Because the fights we tried to make, as you know, they're the fights we were trying to make. We worked very hard on that. And we've got to make fights that make sense. And those fights made sense. And something will be announced soon. And as I say, it's going to be brilliant.
And that's towards the end of September, we're led to believe?
Yeah.
And I know you're not going to tell us who the prospective opponent is, but will it be a boxer or will it be an MMA fighter?
It will be a boxer.
Well, that's something. Will it be someone that fans will be happy with given the delay?
It will be a game changer.
Wow. Okay. And with that in mind and talking about how a lot of other fighters in the division have delayed because they're waiting for that Saudi money at the end of the year or early next year, are you not at all concerned if it is a game-changing fight, something fans are going to enjoy, that Tyson could lose before that huge event?
Before the what event?
If there is one in Saudi, early part of next year with Usyk, are you concerned that Tyson could be taking an unnecessary risk?
No, he's a fighting man. He's offered, he's Joshua, he's offered all these guys, he's made the others. And that's on the assumption that Usyk doesn't get knocked over on the 26th of August against Daniel Dubois, which is what's going to happen.
And we talked about Joshua quite a lot. It seems that talks are now back on, reportedly, for a rematch with Dillian Whyte. You said he had the opportunity to fight Fury, turned it down for whatever reason, and now could be going into that rematch with Whyte August the 12th, I believe. What do you make of that as a decision from Joshua and his team?
I think they've had so much stick over it, and I think people are now seeing what's going down. They keep they're great at deflecting stuff and putting it out there, deflecting what the truth of the matter is, and everyone knows now. I mean, if it had been Tyson, for some reason people believe, it's Tyson's fault that fight didn't happen, which is a nonsense. So Dillian's come out and told you what it's like dealing with. We're doing that. Put something out, and then you don't hear anymore from them. You've got Jason, because it doesn't fit in their plans. And their plan is for the big one on skill set. That's where it's at. That's where they're looking to get their big payday.
Is that not a concern? Obviously, I'm putting you into another promoter's shoes here, but is that not a concern for Eddie Hearn and for the Zone that if they keep Joshua out of the ring all the way until Saudi in December, where are their big fights going to come from?
I've got no idea. I mean, they're doing their best to knock most of their guys off, but I've got no idea.
I'm sure that's not intentional. Just moving on a little bit, you seem very confident that Daniel Dubois is going to get the job done and cause an upset against Usyk out in Poland. What gives you that confidence?
Well, I look at the fights that he's had Usyk at heavyweight. The ones spring to mind is Chisora, which is we had that about 18 months ago, maybe 2 years ago. Yeah, so and for what 7 rounds, Chisora gave him a lot of problems. He was there with him. There was nothing in it, and he gradually wore him down. And they picked Chisora for a reason. I mean, look what Tyson did with Derek Chisora, and look at that. I look at his two fights he had with AJ. The first one, AJ weren't at the races; he was on the back foot all the time. And the second fight, AJ did make more of a fist of it, as they say, but he still got beat. And for me, AJ, and I'm not being disrespectful, AJ's not the fighter he was. Didn't look the fighter he was in his last fight. He's certainly not against in his last 6 fights. He's not looked good in at least 4 of them, hasn't he? 5 of them. So I look at that and I look at our guy and I just know that he's powerful. I know he's got a good jab. He's faster than people think. And if he gets clipped and takes some of that power, that's going to be interesting to see how he reacts. And I'm not saying he's in a bottle job or anything, but I'd fancy Daniel all day long against Chisora. The Chisora that fought against Usyk. So Usyk for me has not come out with any. He's not had a performance that's been a jaw-dropping, dramatic performance. Truthfully, has he? I mean, even his first fight was it Chaz Witherspoon. He didn't look over there. And I'm not disrespecting because he was a brilliant cruiserweight champion. And I'm not giving him any disrespect. He's done what he's had to do. But at the end of the day, you look at something, and that's what for me. I look at what I see, and I feel that Daniel will be in the right place at the right time.
And if he is to cause the upset and Tyson Fury retains in September, regardless of who he's fighting, how soon will you look to make that undisputed fight potentially between Dubois and Fury?
Let's get the two fights out of the way, then we can look at that.
But you'd have no qualms about matching them as an undisputed fight?
I've never had any qualms making it. I've told you, of any of our fighters. Mate, we've done it. The proof's in the pudding. Zhang was with Matchroom for a long time. They didn't make the fight with Joshua. Hrgovic is with Matchroom. They kept saying, we're looking at opponent. Well, there's an opponent. Why don't you take that fight? We make the fights.
I mean, the Saudis have clearly got designs on making that first ever undisputed heavyweight title fight in the four-belt era. How much would it mean to you to be the promoter that makes that history-making event?
Listen, I love to be involved in it, and and I'm hoping at the end of the day we'll have the two pieces of the jigsaw to make it out. We've got the biggest piece, the biggest attraction is Tyson Fury. And that's not being disrespectful for all these guys. It's a fact of life.
And just a quick bit on Conor Benn before we round off. The latest article in the Times I read either yesterday or the day before. He's got a medical team around him now who claims to have new evidence that supports his belief that he didn't intentionally ingest clomiphene, which is what he's currently under investigation for. Sorry. What do you make of that?
I don't know what their evidence is, and it's taken a long time. So get the evidence before. He's done a year already, nearly, if he'd have been banned. So get the evidence in front of UCAD, the Boxing Board of Control, and see where you go with it. You've already had the WBC have looked at it all. They said the allegation was that it was tainted because of the laboratories that it was tested in, and the WBC said that's not the case, and then they come out with whatever the reasons, the eggs and all that nonsense. But the fact of the matter is, I've got to tell you, it's become more tiresome for me than anything else in boxing. And let me tell you why. The two fighters they're talking about, what level are they at? This ain't like the top. This is not some unification fight or anything. What is it? Conor Benn's a decent fighter. He's not a British champion. He's not even the best at his weight in the country. He's not. I don't care what anyone says until he proves me wrong and fights that. And the fella he's fighting got found out, and I've known about it for a long time, got found out by Liam. Got found out, big time. Weren't at the races. So please, let's stop this bullshit. Who cares? I don't care. And at the time they made the fight, I didn't care, so I didn't like the big weight disparity. You knew that to make that weight, something would have to happen. Something would have to happen. And that's what happened. And all the deceit and all the crap that went on between, the two failed tests in a space of whatever period of time it was. It's just not, who cares? Go and do it. Stop keep talking about this bullshit. If you've had plenty of opportunities to go and do it, why don't you just keep quiet about it, go and get yourself cleared. All I keep reading is the fight's being made. And I don't see how anyone would allow it to take place anyway, Abu Dhabi. What are they going to become? Oh, that's the place you go when you guys fail their test.
Well, apparently there's a real worry that any BBBFC licence holders involved in that, even if it is in a foreign country, would face sanction.
Control apply their rules, then there will be a problem for the licence holders. And please, all those out there, the haters, don't keep talking to me about the fight we did with Derek Chisora and David Haye, because neither of them were licensed. One never had a license.
Yeah.
He didn't even appear before the board over it. And Chisora, and by the way, I still didn't like the way the hearing was conducted. I didn't like I didn't like what was going on with the board at the time. And I made my thoughts very, very clear about that. And I asked a very valid question. Are you licensed? So you're not licensed? He went, no. I said, well, he can get a license anywhere he likes. Do what you like. Okay, we do what we like. And that's what we did.
And just
It was legal, and it were, and the test. And what it wasn't about drugs. It wasn't about an unfair advantage. It was not about any of those things, which is a big difference anyway. If you want to try and put some comparison together, that is what happened.
And just finally, and on a much more positive note, BT Sport is about to become TNT Sport. What impact, if any, will that have on boxing and on Queensberry?
Well, we will carry on. We've had a great relationship with BT. The name's being changed, and it continue to be so. And we'll look at the events we got coming up. I mean, look at the heavyweights. Look what we've done with BT Sport over the years to build this up, this heavyweight situation, from nothing, from absolutely nothing. Started off with a channel that had no subscribers, no boxing whatsoever, and built this up to where it is today. And now they've got a partner in Discovery, so it's TNT Sport. It's brilliant. I'm looking forward to what it's going to be like in the next 5 years' time, where we're going to be with everything.
And with that new partnership with Discovery that's become TNT, do you get the sense that they've got a similar commitment to boxing and Queensberry specifically as the predecessors?
Well, they're showing it at the moment, and we deliver as far as the ratings are concerned, so I don't see why they shouldn't do. I mean, why not? Let me tell you something. We don't want to be going anywhere. We like where we are, and I've got to tell you something. We wouldn't be hard for us anyway to find a home, but we don't want another home. We like where we are. We like the people that we work with. There's some new people come on board, which is going to add to it and hopefully make it a better situation from the new banner, the new TNT banner. I'm looking forward to it. This is exciting, and look what they're starting off with. Look what we're kicking off with. I mean, great fights, good show.
And you've got Dynamite on TNT.
Yeah, we've got Dynamite on TNT, so you know what's going to happen on there. You're going to get a big bang. It won't be a theory, it's going to be a big bang. You're sitting.
Which is Zhang's nickname, so maybe not.
Yeah, well, big old Zhang may be getting banged. Who knows? I've got no idea. But at the end of the day, we're going to see Double Z against Double J. Looking forward to that one. On TNT.
Frank, always a pleasure. Thank you.